I checked into my flight this morning and I was like, ah, it's happening. Things are
I
happening.
know.
Welcome to the Incoherent Fangirl.
Where this week we are manifesting that Karin is going to meet Pippa Sue this weekend, our queen.
I'm so excited. I am Karin from the Astoria Academy of the Arts and Sciences.
Wow. I am Mandy of Lockhouse.
That was a mouthful. And our listeners can't see it, but I literally had the book open in front of me so that I wouldn't forget what it was called again. Oh my goodness. I
What a
want to do
week.
a quick follow up to our Scamilton talk
Okay.
last week because I saw a TikTok and apparently they did the same thing to The Greatest Showman.
I saw that.
And I was just like, I'm sorry, what?
Y'all just want a lawsuit. That's
Oh
what
my
that is.
gosh. Like,
They just want to be
seriously.
the church that got sued twice by Broadway.
Seriously. But fun times.
Like, what is wrong with y'all?
I
Have y'all
know.
lost your minds?
Probably. Probably. All right.
What's our timeline?
Oh, yeah. You're so smart.
Hey, look at me being on the ball for once in my life.
I'm so proud of you. All right.
Thank you.
Well, dear listeners, in our timeline, it is August 18th, but in yours, it is August 26th. Wibbly wobbly.
Whoop, whoop. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome, foolish mortals.
Welcome to the past. Ooh.
Hey.
All right. We're good to go. We did our
I
things.
want to know if there are flying cars yet in the future.
Yeah, in your timeline, send us an email. Let us know if there's flying cars.
Yeah.
We're so dumb. I love us.
I do too.
All right. This week in fangirling, what'd you do?
Oh Lord. I had a busy, not busy week.
Oh, tell
I'm
me
still kind
more.
of working through The Monsters We Defy by Leslie Penelope. It's
Okay.
the story that I talked about last week about the girl who she can see spirits and she can kind of use them to grant people's wishes, but there's always all magic comes with a price. And she's told to go on a she's basically got to go on a heist to get a ring and she'll lose this ability, which is what she wants to do. She doesn't like the ability.
Right.
Still working through it, but I got some arcs that were due a little bit sooner. And that's an audiobook, and I've kind of was struggling to pay attention to it because it's one that very specific details are going to come up
Mm.
3 hours from now. I feel like you need to take notes. So I didn't listen to that today. I've listened to it every other day. But I also finished Under the Influence by Karina May. I wrote a blog. I don't know if I sent it to you because it was late last night when I
You
posted it.
didn't, but I had to go onto our blog. Oh, I had to pull up my Foul Lady Fortune review because I couldn't remember when I had finished it. Because
Oh
Emily had
yeah.
messaged me. She was like, we need to talk about this. I was like, I've been waiting since. Looks up what date it was. So I saw your post.
Yeah. I posted it like right after midnight, but I was like, I have to write this.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it was good. It was okay. It was takes place in Australia and Peru. So they
Okay,
go
so
like they travel to both.
okay,
Because
so
I
now
yeah,
it makes more
last week
sense.
yeah, last week I was so confused because like everybody's in Sydney and the book like the synopsis of the book says a Peruvian
Got
journey and I was
it.
like what?
All right,
So
makes more sense.
our main character Louise gets gifted a trip to Peru with an influencer, like an insta famous influencer
Hmm.
who is not what she seems or portrays. And then there's like she's like a straight laced banker, always she's type A, always has to have everything perfect.
Mm-hmm, hmm.
And then there's Blake, who is there. He also goes back and forth between Sydney and Peru because he has like a water charity that he runs and a restaurant in Sydney. And so
This is the guy who got like Tinder famous, right?
yeah, so
Okay.
this isn't really a spoiler, but Tinder famous because it kind of explains it more. His buddy is like social media savvy and basically created a Tinder profile for this guy because he wanted his friend to get dates. But he said for every swipe right, I guess swipe right is
Uh-huh.
you want to date them.
Yes. Yes.
So every swipe right he gets, they would donate a bottle of water to the Peruvian water effort.
Okay.
And so people are like, "Oh, I'm going to swipe right even if I'm not going to ever talk to this guy just to,
Just to donate.
donate to."
Yeah.
And so it was, my complaint was that I was 48% into the book and nothing of substance had really happened. So then because of that, the ending was like, oh yeah, here's an epilogue that like is the
Mm-hmm.
end. So I enjoyed the story. I really liked seeing like the different Australian slang, the different Australian spelling. Like that was really fun. But the story kind of was a little bit lacking for me. Just
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
pace I
Yeah, you
struggled with.
shouldn't be like nearly halfway through a book and have nothing have happened.
Yeah, like they had their little like meet cute at the beginning, and I don't think this is a spoiler because it's like the first scene or two in the book, but like she goes to a Christmas party and he is the bartender, and it's like a
Okay.
company Christmas party. So she goes up and he's like, that'll be 650, and she's like, oh, I'm with the office party, and he's like heckling her about like being so entitled that she expects free drinks, and she's like, the bank is paying for everything, and she's like, I didn't bring my purse, I didn't bring a wallet because this is a
Yeah.
company party and this is supposed to be open bar. And so they have like their little like we don't like each other moment,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then it's just dual povs of them doing separate things for
Oh.
half the book, where normally you'd expect about a quarter, maybe 30% in, they're going to have another run in, and the story is going
Right.
to be them. No, it took a long time for it to get to them actually spending any time together.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it was okay. I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
All right.
But then today, actually, I think it was yesterday, I got this audiobook arc. But I listened to it and finished it today. So I got White Fragility adapted for YA audiences.
Okay.
So it's something that even though they are biracial, I will play for my nieces because everybody should read this book, whether you're a person of color or not. I will say that if you're a white person, it is a difficult read because it's going to show you things about yourself, even though you think that you're, I don't want to say perfect or that you try, but you fail every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It talks a lot about being an anti-racist versus just not wanting to be viewed as a racist, which are two totally different things.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite parts of it was they talked about how most people, and this is, just a few people representing a whole, okay, so this isn't going to be everyone's opinion, but they don't want you to alienate yourself from racists that and the example that they used is you're going to see that aunt that makes racist jokes at every Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, whatever events that your family does. We don't want you to alienate yourself from your family if they make a racist comment. It's not feasible. Instead, challenge them in a respectful way that encourages them in time to see the error of their ways
Mm-hmm.
and learn and change and grow, instead of just, well, I'm not talking to you again, because then that almost empowers them to get even worse because they're going
Mm-hmm.
to show you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then there's no way for them to learn if nobody's teaching them.
Right, right. If you just walk away
And if
and they
everybody
feel,
who feels like who wants people to be equal feels the same way, then there's literally like nobody to talk to them. They're just going to be surrounding
right.
themselves with other people who are racist.
And that empowers them to
Exactly. Yeah.
continue with the racist jokes or the,
Mm-hmm.
slurs and things like that. So it was a very, very informative read. I have the adults version. It's in my endless TV. The plight.
Yep.
I think I got it off the banned books table probably about a year ago. But it was nice to read it audio
Mm-hmm.
from a mentality of also having children in my house that I would want to share it with.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does approach, it's basically they rewrote or readapted it for younger audiences. So it applies a lot to in school,
Okay.
what you do with your classmates. Yeah, it was like I said, if you're white especially, it's a difficult read. They did point out something that I hadn't really ever thought about. And so I don't know that this is even something that I thought, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just an interesting perspective. They said that a lot of people consider white to be the absence of race when it's not.
Oh.
White is also a race.
Do people consider that?
I don't know. It's not something that I've
I've
ever
never
really thought to
I
think
don't
about.
I don't know that I've ever encountered anybody who, I mean, has mentioned that they thought white was not a race.
I don't know. Now I'll have to go back and listen to how they specifically worded
Mm-hmm.
it because it was like a 6-hour audiobook. So there was
Right.
a lot. But yeah, they talked about
That's
how,
interesting.
yeah. Okay, here's an example. I remember this. When they talk about when you think Jane Austen, you
Mm-hmm.
think English writer, Pride and Prejudice, blah, blah, blah. When you think Maya Angelou, you think Black poet.
Mm.
So
Okay.
for white people
It's
who are described, you get she had blonde hair and green eyes.
mhm.
For Black people, it's she had chocolate skin and
So it's more of like it's I feel like it's less about well, this is my interpretation of those examples and my thoughts on it. It's more of people are in the mindset that there's a default
yeah,
because when you're right, like when you're describing a white person or you mention a white person, you're not saying
you don't think, oh, it's a
what a white
white
author,
skin.
a white person.
Yeah,
But when you're talking about like a POC person, you always mention their
right.
race. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And so that kind of the default could also be viewed as the absence of race because
I
you
can
don't have
I
to
can see
say
that. Yeah.
she's white, he's white, but you have to say, anything. Okay, have to in air quotes.
But it's common for that to
Mm-hmm.
happen. Not so much
Right.
like it's a necessity. It's just it's common when we're
Right.
describing people to not mention, which is actually really interesting once I get into what I did this week.
Yeah.
Um yeah, that just made me think of something that I just finished reading. So,
Yeah, and then it also talks about how like you can use the term you use the term Native American or American Indians when most people, again, this is generalizing, this is not my opinions. I don't get an opinion. I don't need an opinion, but most people would prefer indigenous because I was here before America.
mhm.
Or you could see a Black person and say, oh, that's an African American when they could be here visiting from London.
Mhm.
They're not an American. It's like so many
Yeah.
people think that you're not allowed to say the word Black
Mhm.
when you're
Well, for
talking about someone.
I feel
When,
like when we were younger, it was like taboo. Like
yeah,
black, what you it was like derogatory. You had to say
right,
African American. That was like the politically correct way to say it.
right. And
But if
now
you
it's
really think
not.
about it, like
Yeah,
if you really think about it, black is more descriptive
yes,
because some of these people might not be from Africa. They might
right,
not be American, like I mean not them personally, but like their
right,
heritage might not be from Africa or
right,
they might not be American. So black is a better descriptor.
right.
And it's crazy like that for the longest time we thought black was like
The
not
bad way,
okay.
a
Yeah.
rude or a
Right.
racist way to say
Right. But it's definitely I mean neither of us is a black person, so we can't
it.
speak on
Right,
their behalf.
right. Again,
But
and again, this is
from
what was said in the book.
right,
I'm
from
just repeating.
the shift that we are starting to see, it
Hmm.
seems like black is the more appropriate term to be using.
Right, and the
And
preferred term.
and logically speaking, it is more accurate if you
Yeah.
think about it. Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's
And what's funny in like from like a human history standpoint, every single person on this earth, if you go back far enough, came from Central Africa. That is
Mhm.
where humanity started.
Mhm. Mhm.
And technically the reason that people are darker skinned or lighter skinned is based on where how far away their ancestors got from that spot, because
Yep.
that's where the equator is and that's where more sun is.
Yep. Yep.
That was my
Yep.
favorite class I took. Human origins and prehistory is one of my
I
favorite
love
classes in
that.
college. I freaking loved it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really, like I said, if you're a white person, it's going to make you uncomfortable. That's the point. You need to be
Mhm.
uncomfortable and you need to be okay with being uncomfortable. because
Mm-hmm.
that is when true anti-racism comes in, because you need to be able to say, I'm being biased, I've thought something wrong, I've said something wrong, I need to be better.
Mm-hmm. And that's
So
not exclusive to white people.
no, and they
It is, I mean,
mentioned that.
yeah, like it is predominantly white people
Right,
for obvious reasons, but yeah,
right.
we're not trying to give anybody a pass or anything because
No,
it's not
that's very
exclusive,
true.
but it is predominantly white people for obvious reasons.
Right. So it was a very, very enlightening read. And now
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to read How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. He was
Yeah.
in Atlanta a few weeks ago, and I found out like 2 days before I would have gone,
Oh
just because, like,
man.
yeah,
Yeah, that
it's
would have
kind
been
of hard.
so good.
I had the twins. Well, he was here for a children's book too. I can't remember the
Oh,
name of it, but he'd written a children's book.
oh, fun.
We had the twins, and it's hard. I think it was a
Yeah,
school night. I can't remember now. There was a reason that it was like, we can't be this spontaneous.
right.
So yeah, on top of that, today I got, or it might have been last night, I can't remember, I suck at memory. I got an arc for The Ballad of Never After, an audiobook,
Yeah.
but I have not read Once Upon a Broken Heart yet. I read all the Caraval books earlier this year. So when I got off work, I started painting my library. The spot that Karin can see of me is about the only part of this room that is not in chaos. But I just put on the Once Upon a Broken Heart audiobook, and I'm about halfway through already.
It's funny because I saw the Ballad of Never After on NetGalley, and I was about to request it, and then I was like, I would need to read 4 books
Yeah,
before I can read this, so I'm not even gonna try. I'll just wait for
yeah,
it to come.
yeah. It's good so far. So I mean, and I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but that the series is about Jax, who is like the Prince of Hearts or whatever, the
Mm-hmm.
Fate of Hearts. But like the first 5 seconds, she's like, I smell apples and blood, and I was like, oh, it's Jax. Oh, it's Jax. He's coming for you, girl. It's like 5 seconds in. And I'm like, you dummy, you know that this book is about him, but
Oh my gosh, you're
she's
so
like, you're right.
funny.
Because he's got like a signature scent, and you're like, I
Oh,
got a
it's
candle up there. I got a
hilarious. I love
Jack's
that.
candle up there.
I love that. That's
Um,
great.
yeah. Um, Other than that, what Josh and I watched all of the last season of Lock House, or not Lock House, Lock and Key. That's why I'm
Oh,
from Lock
okay.
House.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've watched Lock and Key.
It's on my
Shorts and
list.
not. So it's Stephen King's son Joe Hill wrote the concept, or there may be books, I'm not really sure, or comics or graphic novels or something. There is something out there that is
Okay.
source material. And it's about this like beautiful, like if I could live in a house like this, I would never leave it ever. Beautiful like Victorian mansion in I think it's in Massachusetts, it's somewhere in New England. And this family, it's a mother and her 3 children, move there after her husband passes away. It's his childhood home. His brother still lives there. So they all move in because they need a fresh start. And she's a widow. She doesn't have that much income. So
Mm-hmm.
they move to this house that's free, that's been in the family for years. And their last name is Locke with an E, and so this is called Lock House. Well, very quickly the children start finding random keys, just like giant keys that one of them you put in a belt and it makes you super super strong. They call it the Hercules key. Another
Oh,
key you put in a, like, I think it was a hole on your body, and you grow wings. So it's
okay.
keys that give you magical powers or do something magical.
Okay.
And there is like a portal to another dimension where demons are trying, they're called echoes, are trying to get all of the keys and trying to take over the world using the keys. I think this was the third and final season, it might have been 4, I don't know. But it was very good. We watched it in like a night and a half. This season was only like 8 episodes, so it
Okay.
was a quick but super good. I highly recommend it. Lock and Key, it's fun, and it's kid appropriate, but it's also enough like drama and like enough of a story that adults also
Okay.
care to watch it. It's not like, a little kid show where you're sitting there like, Steve, the clue is right behind you over your shoulder. Okay. I can see it. You can see it. We all can see it, Steve. You don't have to ask me. Dora, your map is in your backpack. Not that bad, but there are things that like will go over kids' heads,
Yeah.
but that adults will appreciate. So
Okay.
lock
I
and
love
key.
that though.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
It's a lot of fun to watch. I hate that it's ending.
It happens.
And that was my week. What did you
Okay.
do this week?
So last week I started my arc for Typecast by Andrea J.
Mm-hmm.
Stein. I still don't know. I probably should have
Mm-hmm.
asked her. And so this is the story of Callie, who is like a preschool or kindergarten teacher, and she's like in her early 30s, and life's going good. And then she finds out her ex boyfriend is writing a movie, or has written a movie that's going to come out later that year about their breakup. And so yeah, basically she's like dealing with like she's trying to figure out like, do I still have feelings or blah blah blah, that kind of thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why is she still hung up on this? It's been 10 years. I should be fine. I was the one who broke up with him. Why am I still thinking about this? I can't get it out of my mind and all of that. Her pregnant sister and her whole family move into their parents' house where Callie is staying, um, because they're having like their house or condo or whatever being remodeled. So now she's
Mm-hmm.
dealing with her like super type A sister who needs to be in control of everything.
Oh my God.
Um, yeah, it's I don't know if I've ever witnessed somebody so type A as
Yeah.
Callie's sister. I'm just like, girl, you need to chill.
You gotta
Um,
breathe. You gotta breathe through
you
it.
gotta breathe. So then, because there's something happens with her sister's pregnancy where she's now stuck on bed rest. But because she's so type A, she needs somebody to interact with the people who are remodeling her house.
Right.
So Callie gets sent to like the architects, and to talk to them, which is where she meets whatever his name is. I can't even remember, but he's like a super cute architect, and they have like, before like she gets sent out, they have like a cute little meet cute, which is kind of adorable. Like the Callie has her niece, and they stop into like a cafe, and her niece like accidentally runs into this guy, and turns out it's like the architect, and they're just like, oh hey, hey. And
Oh.
so it's cute. And so like she's like, eventually they like, are they gonna date or whatnot, because they're very like quippy with each other, and it's really cute.
Yeah.
Every time they interact, it's really cute. So you're like, are they gonna date? And then like she's also like, do I want to date? Am I still hung up on this guy? I don't know. And so you go through the story, and it goes from like past to present. So like it starts off in like the past when she's still with her ex-boyfriend, and then it jumps to
Uh-huh.
the present. So every couple chapters or whatnot,
You're back and forth.
it'll go back and forth. The thing that I found really weird about it, the story overall was really great. I really enjoyed it. There's like a kind of a reveal at the end as to why they broke up, because nobody knows and she doesn't tell anybody. So I thought I had it figured out, and when it got there, I was wrong, which I love. I love when I'm
Yeah.
wrong. It's
Yeah.
because you're just like, I love that. So I was wrong, and I like immediately messaged the author on Instagram. I was like, "What?" And so she was like, "I love that," and I like explained my theory, and she's like, "That would have been good too." Like, I know, thank you.
Hey.
So the story overall, I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I found was really weird was that when we were in the past, it was in first person, so Callie was telling the story, but when we were in the present, it was in third person.
Oh, that's weird.
And I thought maybe if I kept reading, like it would make itself clear as to
Yeah.
why she chose to do that. But I still don't know why that was a choice. And now I'm like wondering, if did she like write maybe the past all at once and the present all at once, and then just
Yeah, but you
forgot
think that
what tense? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's bizarre. I can't figure out why that was the choice. Um So it was kind of weird.
Yeah, that's
But
difficult to go
overall,
back and forth through.
it was really, I was very confused. It didn't take away from my enjoyment of like the story itself. I did really enjoy it. It was just like really confusing a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've
Like,
never
what
seen
is
that.
this? Yeah. That is weird.
So, but it was good. I think it's really cute, and I would recommend it. I think I gave it like 3 stars.
Okay.
My rating system is like I don't know
mine
how
is
I rate
too.
things.
I don't.
I have no idea. I needed a break from reading arcs, so I just read a whole bunch of comic books for like a night because I was just like, there's so many stories, and usually I read fantasy, so I've been reading a lot of like romance, rom-coms, contemporary like romance and stuff. So I was like, I need like a break. I need a palate
I need
cleanser.
something. Yeah.
So I just grabbed. I had a stack of like comic books. I was just, I'm just gonna go through these real quick. It's nice little
Don't
like.
blame you.
It was really nice. I enjoyed it. And then I got an arc for Soulmates. It's Soul spelled like the city. And I swear to God, I have heard about this book for like ever, and I thought it was already released. So when I saw it on NetGalley, I was like, "Wait, what?" So it comes out next month. But yeah. Anyways, so the story follows a Korean American girl who has like her entire life pushed down like her Korean side to make herself fit in more. So she like downplays all of her culture and stuff. So she's really disconnected with it. And so she's going into her, like, it's the summer of her, before her senior year. And she's like, everything's going to be perfect. I've got the perfect boyfriend. It's going to be the best senior year. It's going to be the best summer. Then her boyfriend breaks up with her at the beginning of summer, stating that they don't really have anything in common. And she was like, what? And so all of her friends, her ex-boyfriend, everybody has hopped on board like the K-pop, K-drama, like bandwagon, because that's the hot thing right now. And it is in the story. And so she's like, I have spent my entire life trying not to be too Korean. And that is why I'm being alienated. It's cool. Now I'm being alienated because I'm not Korean enough. So she's like struggling. And so she's just like, she's got this plan. She's like, I'm going to win him back. I'm going to find things that he likes and I'm going to learn all about it, be all passionate about it, like change herself to be with, because she's a teenager. So, you know, teenagers do stupid shit. But then her like former best friend, like they were their parents, their moms are like best friends, so they've been friends since they were like
grown up
born,
together,
basically. And they had some sort of falling out like 3 years ago, when he and his family moved to Seoul. And so he's like this K-drama star in Seoul now, and he's like overwhelmed, needs a break, comes back to San Diego for the summer, and they stay in their house. So now they're like, it's like forced proximity. They have to be like near each other. And their moms are just like, they'll figure out they're in love with each other eventually. Which I thought was so funny because I love like, that. Oh my gosh.
We're not going to press them. We're not going to pester.
They'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
So it's like, it's so cute. I just love it so much. Like, and they don't make you wait until the very end to find out like why they fell apart. Like you find out like what happened when they broke up, like their friendship broke up, pretty like maybe midway through. And so that was kind of nice. And then it was just like this like thing, the conflict, I guess, that was overhanging was just like, okay, well, he's going to have to go back to Korea at the end of the summer to continue with his show. And she's going to be here. And they're like, and then, you know, when you're forced together and you're so familiar with somebody, feelings happen.
Yep. So, love ensues.
It's so freaking cute. Like, I have no complaints about this story at all. Like, no complaints.
So have you finished it?
I finished it.
Okay.
I finished it. I have zero. I gave it 5 stars because I have no complaints.
I was gonna ask. Yeah.
Yeah. There were times where I would get like really mad at the main character, the female. I forget her name. I think it's Hannah. I think it's Hannah. Yeah. So Hannah is the girl, Jacob's the boy. And so there were times when Hannah's just like, I'm gonna do this and gonna win him back, and she was like so irritating. I'm just like, you don't need to change yourself for another
Yeah,
person.
you
And
don't need a boy.
then I remember she's 17, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. So it was just
Listen,
like,
listen. If you are under the age of 30 and you are listening to this, do not change yourself for that other person. They are
if
not worth it. If they are worth it, then they will never want you to change.
the right person will love you just as you are.
Exactly.
You do not need to change yourself for anybody else other than yourself. If you feel like there's something about yourself that you want to change for you, go for it. But do not do it for anybody else.
If I could go back and tell 17-year-old me that, I would shake her.
Good Lord.
Girlfriend. I wish I had the confidence I have now then.
Yeah. I think everybody has to go through that, though.
Yeah.
You just have to learn.
I have one more lesson for our young, if we have any young audience members. I tell my nieces this all the time because they get so wrapped up in like friendship drama, and this person doesn't like me this week, but next week they want to be best friends. I would rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. Find quality friends that you know that you can trust, that aren't gonna stab you in the back, and hold on to them. And also be a quarter friend, not a penny friend.
Yep. Quality.
That's words to live by. Quality over quantity every time.
Every time.
And be quality yourself.
Yes.
You have to deserve your friends in
just
the same way that they have to deserve you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this book is very good on the life lessons. Just saying.
Awesome.
If you're reading it, I'm just like, life lessons, man. As a 30-plus-year-old reading a 17, 18-year-old POV, I'm just like frustrated, but also like, they're learning. This is how they learn. So it was really nice. So it is a dual POV, most of the book. So it goes from Hannah and Jacob's POVs. There's a couple chapters where she sprinkle in like somebody else's POV, which is, I think it's really cute. So if you read the book, you'll understand. I think it's super cute and I loved it. You know, it was just really good. I just really enjoyed it. So I highly recommend. It's called Soulmates. It's by Susan Lee. It comes out next month, I think, like the 20th, September 20th. Hey, I remembered something.
Look at you.
Proud of me.
Look at you go.
So yay me. And then I finished A Show for Two by Tashi Boyen. Also very adorable. I haven't rated it yet. But I really enjoyed it. This is the one where we've got Mina, who is a student at the Astoria Academy of Arts and Sciences, which is where I was from. And then Emmett Ramos, who is a burgeoning indie actor, come undercover to learn about the American school system, just like Tom Holland did.
But he's kind of a douche, where Tom Holland isn't, right? Or he starts out as kind of a douche.
Well, it goes into it, like, during the story, and I guess, like, maybe slightly spoilers, but turns out it's mostly just an act. Like, his publicist...
Is he trying not to make friends?
His publicist wants him to kind of be, like, that standoffish, like, untouchable kind of, like... unrelatable. I don't know why. It makes no sense. Like, why would you want to alienate your fans? But whatever. So he's weird. He's very sweet.
I guess if he's undercover, he doesn't. They don't want him to get too close to other people because then they might find out.
Yeah, but that was like before he was even undercover when he like bumped into her. So that's like supposed to be his like public persona, is kind of standoffish.
Okay.
It's weird. But he's like a total sweetheart. It's very cute. But it's cute. So like the last book, so Soulmates is like a best friends to lovers. This is like enemies to lovers, and it was just the perfect books to read back to back for me. Yeah. Because it's just so good. So good. And the thing about A Show for Two is that it hit me really hard because of the family dynamic, Mina's relationship with her parents. And I feel like maybe white people wouldn't really understand it. I think it's part like Asian parents, part immigrant parents kind of thing, where her parents are not supportive of like her passions and things like that, where she like really wants to be a filmmaker, and she's really excited to like go to USC, get into USC, go to like the best program or whatnot. And her parents are like, why would you want to do that? You're not even going to get into USC. You need to do something that's more practical, and just like completely derailing her like passion.
Yeah.
Like clearly she's
What
very
she
passionate
wants.
about it. And they're the same with her younger sister too, and it was so relatable. Like,
Yeah.
it brought up so much stuff from the past. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this is my high school experience.
Yeah. And you know, like you as an adult though, you kind of relate to the parents because you're like, not relate to the parents, but you can understand that their desire is for their children to be successful,
right,
and have not love what you do, but
right.
be able to make a place for yourself and be there.
I can understand the like the underlying sentiment where they just
Right.
want you to do well, but the way that her parents and my parents went
Yeah.
about it, it's just very like, you don't need to be putting your kids down
Right.
in order to raise them up.
You don't have to break them to.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't need to fight. Please just, I don't need to be made strong, okay? Just let
Right.
me have my
I was
passion.
strong on my own.
I was already I don't need to be any stronger, okay?
I'm not cry.
Just let me be weak. So, yeah. So
I know that we hate them, okay, most of them, but I always feel for men who are taught that they are not allowed to cry or feel
I hate
emotions
that.
too.
I hate
that. I gotta break my boy. I'm gonna beat you until you stop
No.
crying. Like, what are you doing and why?
There's
Let
no
them
reason.
be sad.
Let them be human.
Yeah.
Like, are
Like,
you
good God.
why? What is the point of that? What
Yeah.
literally somebody explain to me what the point of that is, because there isn't one. There isn't one.
Nope.
It's just
There's no point.
it's just emotional
Men don't
damage.
have to be tough. Men don't have to be tough.
No.
Men can be emotional. Women can be tough. It's fine. It's not.
It's just yeah.
Men can be tough
And
still
emotional.
show emotion. Like,
Yeah.
there's a concept.
Absolutely.
Sorry, it just that when you said I don't have to be strong.
I just
I
want
don't
to
have
be
to
weak.
be any stronger. Like,
Just let me be weak.
yeah. Please.
Yeah. So I thought it was a really cute story. I listened to it on audiobook, and then I went back and pulled out I like to read the acknowledgments, and so I
Yeah, I
had
do
the
too.
physical copy, so I was reading the acknowledgments, and she was so cute. She was like, and then the first Oscar goes to, because they're film people, and so she like, it was like a theme in like her acknowledgments, and her last one was thanking Tom Holland because he inspired the
was the
story.
one, yeah.
You know, like it wasn't like what happened. It's not like her telling what happened.
That's
in
what
her
made
life.
me nervous at first. I was like, oh my God.
It was just
you jerk.
the idea of a celebrity going undercover at a high school. That was the inspiration she took from it, and that's the story she wrote, and I love it. I loved it. It was good. And then the last thing I finished literally right before we started this podcast, this episode, I was finishing Counterfeit by Kirsten Chen. It is about a woman, Ava Wong, who gets like roped into a counterfeit scheme with her college roommate. And so the scheme is like, they buy like really, really good replica of luxury handbags. So they buy a whole bunch of those at obviously a lower price than what the retail is. Then they go and they buy the real thing that matches it and return the fake one. And so, yeah. And it's
like
really
Good Girls.
It's really, really interesting the way that she wrote this book, because so for most of the book, you feel like it's Ava's POV, and it took me like a couple chapters, I think, to realize, or maybe it was in the first chapter. I can't really remember, but turns out she's like, everything that you're hearing from Ava's POV is actually her retelling the story to the detective that is investigating them.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then you've got part one, Ava's telling the story, and then part two is written in a different way, and it's really, really good. Like I don't want to say anything about it
Yeah, don't
because
spoil it.
the reveal is so good. Like,
Yeah.
because you're going through all of part one, and Ava's telling this story to this detective, and you're the detective, basically. The
Right.
detective is an actual story, but she's like, you know, what about you, detective? Don't you have kids? And I'm just like, oh. So she's like talking to the detective, and that's the whole thing. And so then you get to part two, and you're just like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
It like completely threw me for a loop, and I was just like, this is very clever. I really, really like it. So I highly recommend it. I literally just finished it. I was like, I'm not starting the podcast until I finish this. I need to know how it ends.
No, I don't blame you.
It's really good. It's been on my list like for a while now, and I just have not gotten around to it. So when I saw that it was on Scribed, I was like,
yep,
this is it. This is the one. This is the one. So yeah, it's called Counterfeit by Kirsten Chen. It's really good. I really like it. But we were talking earlier about how like quote unquote white is the default.
Yeah.
And you never use like white as a qualifier when you're describing somebody, really.
Right.
This entire book, every time she is talking about a person, she says this white lady or this like mainland Chinese person or like every single person. Yeah. And I was just like, at first I was like, that's a little weird. And now that we're talking about it, I'm like, no, that kind of should be how it should be. Yeah. So I was just like, it kind of coincided perfectly with like what you read. I kind of love that.
I know it makes me want to go like look at my book that I'm writing and like make sure that I specify everyone or no one, you know?
Right. I love that. I loved it. Like, and obviously we didn't plan that. It just worked out that that conversation got brought up while I'm reading a book where it applies really.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I loved it. It's really good. I have no complaints. There's nothing about the only thing is I'm just like, these women made so much money.
Yeah.
For doing so much bad stuff.
Yep.
Can I have some?
Give me some of that. Why can't I have some of that?
But it's not, it's not a complaint about the story.
Yeah.
It's just a complaint about my life.
Yeah.
So it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Very nice.
And oh, well, we can't talk about it, but I watched She-Hulk. You are not seeing it until...
Well, we're not watching... Remember we talked about how we're going to talk about it the following week anyways, because there's no way that I'll be able to watch them on Thursdays and record on Thursdays to talk about it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I'm so mad that we have to wait to talk about it because it's so good. Everybody who has been like review bombing or like attacking the show before it's come out is going to eat their words.
Oh, I was sure they would anyways. They would
absolutely except for the like most extremely fragile of them. They're absolutely going to eat their words. It is so good. It's so good. And there is a really funny joke in this first episode that you are going to die. You're going to die.
I can't wait. I have to watch it like Monday.
I was sitting there and I was like, they went there. They really went there. I will say that revolves around a common theory that the fandom has about a certain character, and that's all I'm going to say about it. It is so good, so funny. You will die. You will die laughing. It's so good. And I know you're not on. I know you're not on Twitter, but just stay off Twitter because I've already seen people talking about it.
I don't do Twitter.
Other than that, I don't think that I have really watched anything like new.
Yeah.
Claim to fame, the person who got kicked out this time was Tiffany Haddish's sister.
Okay.
Who had been going by a fake name the entire show. I was like, damn girl, how do you like if I went by a fake name, I would forget it immediately and people would be calling me and I'd be like, oh, me. Yes, what?
Did you ever watch The Circle?
No.
That's a good one. Where they where
Yeah.
they can be a catfish.
Oh my
You
gosh.
don't
Yeah.
see them, and everybody's voice is distorted. So
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. So, all right. I don't have anything else, I don't think.
okay,
So,
well, we gotta talk about fictional boyfriends, and mine has a fun fact
oh, okay. You
that
go
I it's
first.
this is a good segue too. So my fictional boyfriend is super hot history teacher Josh Bennett from Lock and Key. He's got this beautiful jaw and chin that would make you slap your mother. I was just watching him like, dang, son. Anyways, he is played by Brendan Hines, husband of Tatiana I don't know,
Maslani.
Maslany. I don't know if it's Maslany or Maslany. Maslany.
Oh,
They just got
I
married this year.
Oh my gosh, I love. How cute.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty exciting.
That is like
I
an
thought,
excellent segue.
yeah.
Excellent
I was like, I
segue.
got it. She's got to let me go first because, oh, I got
Yeah,
to segue from
absolutely.
She-Hulk.
Oh, I love. That's fun.
Yeah.
All right, all right. I am going to say my fictional boyfriend this week. I don't know. I don't know really. I really enjoyed Jacob Kim from Soulmates. He was precious. He was a precious little 18-year-old boy. Um so I'm gonna he's like my little baby now.
Yeah.
I protect this little he's like a little cinnamon roll. I adore him.
Oh no.
I adore him.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go with that. He's like a precious little cinnamon roll, but he also has like anxiety and stuff, and I'm just like, you're like a real person.
Relatable.
I love it. We love a good
One of
cinnamon
us.
roll.
Yeah.
Ugh, yes, yeah. I love him. He's very sweet. What's our next
Okay.
segment?
I want to know where your money went.
Ah, yes, that's the one. I have a little pile over here, and then I have a gigantic thing over here,
Oh,
which I'm
I have
so excited to share.
I forgot, but it's right behind me. So
That works out. Well, I pre-ordered these like a while ago, and they've just been taking their sweet time to come. I don't have all of them yet, but I got Abuela and Julieta.
oh,
I'm still missing
cute.
they're Funko Pops. I'm still missing Antonio and Luisa and Bruno, but they're gonna come eventually. I've pre-ordered
I
them.
don't talk about Bruno.
That's why I don't have him yet.
God, she just started talking about him. My niece would throat punch you.
I love her. So I got those. I 100 Soft came out with a couple more of their cute little pins. So we've got Kamala Khan, of course, with her like sparkly fist. We've got our boy the Red Dagger, who I'm still in love with. Sweet boy.
Yeah.
And then oh no, I dropped it.
You threw someone.
It's okay because it was She-Hulk. She can survive.
Oh, she'll be fine.
And then there's this cute one where it's like half Jen,
Aw.
half She-Hulk, which is super cute. And I love that they came today on the premiere of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
So I love. And oh gosh, just hit my table.
I was like, are they having an earthquake over there?
It's possible. I'm in California. Continuing on with our pin theme, I got my August Patreon from Here Comes the Nerd. We've got Wally and a little toad. So freaking cute.
Cute.
And then I'm not going to describe this one because it was like the mystery pin for my tier, but I'm going to show you because you'll appreciate it. But
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
I opened it, I read it, and I just was like, okay, I won't.
I have some joggers that, like, on my worst days, I put those joggers on.
I
and they have it
texted
for-
Joanna immediately, and I was like, I won't. I promise I won't.
We're not gonna let it.
All right, and then I have another pin that also arrived today. Is my gigantic jumbo Funko Pop pin. It's Wanda in her Halloween costume.
Look at her. She's so cute.
They kind of destroyed my box, but it's okay because I'm going to take her out.
Yeah.
And then something that came today, even though I thought it wouldn't arrive until Saturday when I was in New York, I'm so excited about the Starlight in the Shadows. I'm so happy. I was texting Amber. I was like, I'm not gonna get it because it's gonna come on Saturday and I won't be here. And then it was out for delivery this morning, and I was like, it's coming. So I'm really excited.
know.
And I
Mine's
got.
up on my shelf.
Did you get a different bookmark? I got a bookmark and a sticker.
I got a Kai sticker and a Jesselyn.
I got Nico.
And she says, bookmark? You mean quitter strip?
My Nico, I love him. I spy a new adventure.
Maybe it's Nico then.
And then is this Jess?
Yes.
Okay. And then Nico. I had to ask Amber. I was like, how do you pronounce his name? And she's like, I'm not sure. And I just realized I went back and forth on it for so long that I didn't put it in the pronunciation guide.
Oh no.
I don't know if you noticed it when we got the arcs. I was reading it and I was like, is it Nico? Is it Nico? And I asked her and she's like, I don't know. And she's like, I went back and forth on it for so long that I didn't put it in the pronunciation guide. I was like, I know, that's why I'm asking you. So it's in the finished book. It is Nico.
Okay.
But I was like, that was really funny. And then I have like 3 more things to show you. But these 2 came in the same package. And they're so pretty. I'm so excited. So we've got stained glass Mulan like Loungefly backpack. The little keychain pull is crickety. And then Mushu's there on the bottom. It's gorgeous. It's freaking, it looks like stained glass. It's so pretty.
Can I tell you, my niece and I watched Mulan. I know I was texting you that we were watching Mulan, and like Reflection starts, and I'm like, Christina Aguilera's got nothing. So I'm singing, and she's like, Mimi, stop singing. I can't hear her. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, when we get to I'll Make a Man Out of You, I'm a child of the, I grew up in the 90s. Okay, I was born in the 80s. I'm a child of the 90s.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I can't control myself.
I started singing in the live action when the song came on because how do you not? How do you? It's involuntary. It's involuntary.
Well, thankfully, she was just as pumped as I was. So she's like charging around the living room. Excellent. Just got her little fist up. Like, thank God she didn't tell me to shut up this time because I wouldn't have been able to. I couldn't have done it.
There's no way. There's no way. And so then the other ones I'm going to describe for our listeners is Wizard of Oz. It says Surrender Dorothy. It's got our quartet. Is that 4? Is that quartet is 4?
There's 5 people there. Don't you discount Toto.
Toto is a cute little puppy. Look right there. There he is. Right there, just for you.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They're not a quad. There's 5.
Quintet?
Yeah.
Is that 5? Help me. Math people. That's not my math. So then the little poppies are like, they're like 3D. They're very, and then there's the little gems on the Emerald City. And the back says there's no place like home with the little ruby red slippers.
That is so precious.
Fun fact for anybody who doesn't know, the red was added for the movie. They're actually silver in the books. They picked red for the movies so that you could see the stark contrast between the black and white and the color. Some people don't know that. I do, and I share it with everybody.
I love it.
And then, this is the thing I am most excited to show you. I went into Target to get new shoes for my daughter because her feet grew over the summer. So she needed new shoes for school. I know, it's really rude. And I had seen something on TikTok and somebody had picked this up at Target, and I walked by a display and I was like, I need to go look for it. It's a bisexual squishmallow.
Oh my God.
It makes me so happy.
That is huge too. It's bigger than you are.
It's gigantic. It's like the entirety of my upper body. Yeah, and look at its fluffy tail.
Oh,
Did I need it? No. Did I need it? Yes.
Yeah. I need to get my husband. There's a Mothman squishmallow.
Oh, shut up. Is there really?
Yes, there really is.
He needs it.
He needs it so bad.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love. But yeah, I was like, I don't need squishmallows. No, it's a freaking bisexual colored squishmallow.
Listen,
I needed
that's how I was until I walked into Five Below and found my little tiny Belle.
Yes.
I didn't know I needed a squishmallow until I found her.
Yeah, no, it
Need
was,
squishmallows. Everyone needs their emotional support squishmallow.
yes, they do. I've got
Yeah.
mine. It's gigantic. That was where my money went. I got my novelty chest
I did
for.
too. I meant to text you, but I didn't.
I love it. I can't wait to read this
Yeah.
book. The book is a violet made of thorns. Why am I having such a hard time
I
saying
want
it?
to say violent
Yeah,
is my
I
problem.
think that's what it is.
I struggle with it.
Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen. And
And those
the edges are
edges.
so pretty. This is like little floweries.
They're
I'm obsessed.
violet violets. Turning violet, violet.
Oh my gosh.
I can't hear
it.
the word violet without just that sound bite in my head. You're turning violet.
I
violet.
love it. All right, that's where my money went. I bought something today that I hope I get in time for next week because it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be for the podcast and you're going to see it every time we record and I'm really excited.
I can't wait to see.
I hope it shows up while I'm like on vacation.
Yeah.
All right, but that's it. Your turn.
I don't have a lot. I have Starlight in the Shadows, but it's way up there because I already put it away. My swag box should be here Saturday, I think.
Mine shows up Monday, so I'll have it when I get home.
So I have discovered this past week Pango books. I know I texted you about them. So it's like a Mercari for books. And I don't okay, so I do know. Karin and I have been texting about A.K. Mulford. And I guess I should have mentioned in This Week in Fangirling that I was chosen to be part of A.K. Mulford's street team, which is very exciting for me.
So
I love the 5 Crowns of Oakrith, 5 Courts of Oakrith series. I've read all of the books that are out as arcs, and I'm dying, and the Evergreen Airs. Anyways, A.K. Mulford was self-published, and she kind of got viral on TikTok and got the attention of Harper Voyager, who are now like gonna publish her books.
Yeah.
Maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, she had like on her website, it was like buymeacoffee.com where you can do $5 and she'd send you like book plates. Well, I think it was right around Christmas time. And so I was like not really spending money on myself because we have a big family, gifts, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, I can do like, I'll get the signed book plates. So I got a book plate for the High Mountain Court and I got one from the Witch's Blade because those were the 2 that she was selling. Well, then it kind of fell off my radar. So immediately when Harper Voyager got involved, they were like, we're taking any self-published copies off of the internet. You can't sell them on your website anymore because we're going to have an official release next month. So I've been struggling to find because the cover art and everything is similar, but it's not an exact match. So I wanted like the self-published copies. So on Pango Book, I googled and finally Pango Books comes up and I found 2 people that had one of each. They're on the way. I think they should both be here tomorrow. But while I was looking, I was like, Olivia Blake was also a self-published author who got picked up and had the Atlas 6 become insanely popular. I wanted a self-published copy of the Atlas 6, but they go online for like $50, $80, $100, $200 sometimes. So I was selling it I think for $28.
Yeah.
And I got
immediately after you texted me about it, I saw somebody post one on Facebook for $50 and I was like, that's just really funny.
It's really cool because it's got like art of some of the characters on each page. That's Tristan. I think that's Tristan and I hate him. Nico DeRona forever. So I was really excited to get this. And I think I read that the author, I don't know, so it looks like Olivia but with an E. So Olivia, I don't really know how she pronounces it.
I've always read it as Olivia, but
that's what I thought.
Who knows? I mean,
she drew like the cover.
Oh, shut up.
That's what I've read. Yeah, that she did all of the cover art for this.
That's
which
awesome.
Is like kind of intricate. I couldn't draw something like that.
Good Lord, I could not.
So I was really excited to get this. It came in yesterday. And then I really did. I spent a lot of money this weekend, but it was on a new desk setup.
Oh God.
I've been teleworking for the past 2 years, 2.5 years. For like the first year and a half, I was in my bed or on the couch, and my back was like, "Girl, I will leave." So I finally set up like an office space upstairs, but I've been working on like a card table. So like and on carpet with a rolling chair. So anytime I would try to like scoot forward, I would use the desk, pull the desk towards me, monitors and stuff all trying to fall on me. So we got a standing desk. So I'm gonna hopefully in the next couple of pay periods get a little treadmill to walk underneath it, because I've got to be a little more active. I'm such a sloth lately. So maybe a treadmill that I can put under it. We got another desk that has like storage space, because that was another thing we didn't have. Monitors and new keyboards and all of this stuff that my tech husband decided we needed.
Would you like to tell the listeners what happened with said desk and storage?
Oh my God. So first of all, this desk is a nightmare. One of these, not the standing desk. The standing desk was an angel to put together. One thing about me, I love putting together furniture, okay?
Same.
My husband, don't come near me unless I call for you to help me. I want to do this. I enjoy doing this. I don't need your help. If I need you to help me lug everything up the stairs, that's about the extent of what I'll need you for this. And he joked about it. He was like, yeah, I know. That's why I married you. Because he was like, you should ask me for help. And I'm like, I am independent, okay? I know, that's why I married you, but I don't want you to like hurt yourself. Anyways, this other desk. So this is like a cheapo desk, right? Like it's worse than IKEA. Like IKEA to me is good quality.
Oh no.
But this is like not like good quality, but like this is not as sturdy as IKEA. It's like particle board and like real thin covering over it, but it serves the purpose of what we need, so we got it. I put it together, we get it up here. I think it was the next day. It's got these drawer pulls, right? Just like flat, supposed to be modern looking, that stick out at like a sharp angle. Emphasis on the word sharp. My husband, as I've mentioned, has his Xbox up here. He's playing Sea of Thieves. I'm like, I'll go up there while we eat and I'll read a book. I tend to do that a lot of nights. He'll be up here playing video games. I sit next to him and read. We're spending time together. I go to get my water, which I had left on my desk, and I come back around and catch my knee on the drawer pull, and it hurt. I was like, oh my God, that hurt. And I come around the desk and my husband's like eyes get as big as saucers, and I gashed my knee open. I guess this would have been Sunday night or Monday night. It is now Thursday. I still can't straighten my leg out I can't bend my leg. I have to keep my leg kind of straight. Like a 2-inch wide gash. I sent my brother-in-law, who's a nurse, pictures, and I was like, do I need to go get stitches? And he was like, well, if you went to a med stop, you probably would get a few stitches. He was like, but you can just go get butterfly clasps and gauze and stuff.
Get a good cool scar.
And so I was like, the thought of watching somebody like sew my skin does not appeal to me. Not something that this squeamish girl wants to go through, is watching my skin be sewn with a needle and thread. Something I can live without living through. So my poor husband like jumps up and runs to CVS and comes back. One of my greatest fears in life is Band-Aids. I don't know. Frogs and Band-Aids are the most terrifying things on earth. Okay. And so he comes back and he's like, I got a whole slew of wound care, none of which looks like Band-Aids. So I've got like butterfly clasps and gauze and tape, and I just keep having to change them out. It's this whole ordeal for this. And now every time I look at the desk, I'm like, you. But I did go to Ace Hardware today, and I got round knobs to put in the holes where those two drawer, because it was one drawer pull with 2 holes. Those round knobs aren't going to do nothing. They give you a bruise. They ain't going to cut your skin. So suck it, desk. And then the next day I came up and some of my skin was still on it.
Ew, like, Mandy.
I know. I was horrified. No. I was horrified. It was traumatic, okay?
I bet. Speaking of your fear of frogs, I didn't mention this when we were talking about it, but I was reading when I was listening
Oh
to
yeah.
a show for two. I'm listening to this chapter and I was like, I need to text Mandy right away. Mandy, if you read this book, you need to prepare yourself for, I think it was like chapter 25 or something. There's a frog.
Ugh, it just gives me chills up my spine.
I was like, as soon as, and no, like this specific, like the thing that happens, you would die.
Ugh,
You, as the like fear of frogs that you have, you would hate it.
it's full on.
So
Like,
I
if
was like, if you read this, you need to really prepare for this chapter,
yeah,
or just skip it, and I'll tell you what happens.
if a snake fell from the ceiling right now, I wouldn't like it, but I wouldn't crawl the walls to get out of
Yeah.
this place like I would if I would miss. I would jump down the entire flight of stairs. If a frog was in this room right now, I'd be calling, my husband is out of town. I'd be calling my grandparents who live a few streets over, waking them up to come over and get this frog out of my house. I can't. But a snake, I'm fine. Like, I'm not going to be thrilled, but I can get it outside. Like, it'll be okay. Not a frog. A frog, I'll burn the whole house down. And then Josh will come get me for spiders. He's like, I need you to handle that. I need you to handle that guy. I'm fine. I'm fine with a spider, a frog. I mean, not a frog. I'm fine with a spider, a snake.
Anything but a frog.
Anything that flies, wasps. I can handle a cockroach. You put a tree frog near me? No,
It's
absolutely
over.
not. All bets are off. I will throw up.
Oh my god. All right.
That's all I spent my money on this week. It was a lot of money, but hopefully it'll be worth it.
It remains to be seen.
Yeah.
All right. What are you anticipating? Is that
Oh
what's
yeah,
next?
I remember us.
Is that what's next?
I can take I
Okay.
can take the Starlight in the Shadows off because
It's here. It's time. I'm so happy.
it's released.
Yay.
Tell us
I'm
how
so
much you
happy.
love it because I know after all of these episodes you've ordered it and you've
There
read
was I forget who it was. I think it was in Joanna's Facebook group, and Joanna was promoting her Felix pin, and somebody commented saying she bought the book and she read it, and she was like, "I loved it, and I'm so glad I don't have to wait for the next one to come out because she had finished it like I think Sunday." And I was like, you can still go get signed copies and go do this. And she was like, it's probably too late to get entered for the swag box, but I bought a signed copy of book 2 and I'll get book 1 later. And I was like, I'm so excited. I love it. It makes me so happy that people like outside quote unquote people are like getting in.
Yeah.
They're joining the club. Join us, people. It's fun over here.
It is so much fun.
Oh, and she was like, I agree with you guys. Like, she could be like the next Sarah J. Maas. Like, it could be the next ACOTAR. I was like, I know.
I have read so many like traditionally published books that are not as good as Amber's. Like,
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that it's out in the world. People are reading it, and people are like being introduced to this because of us.
Yeah,
is really cool too. Like,
yeah,
is this what influencers feel like? Oh my gosh.
So now that we can take that off, I'm looking forward to the All of Our Demise event and book. That's next week. It may be the week after next. I don't math. It's the 18th, and that's like the 30th. Yeah, so it's not next week. It's the week after. And then the Atlas Paradox. Just here, and the Legendborn Bloodmarked, the Legendborn sequel too. I got so many sequels coming up, and
I said it last year. I said it not last year, last episode. I said it last episode. It's a good year for sequels. It's a good year for sequels. So many
really
good sequels.
is.
So many good sequels coming out. So yay.
So yeah, those are what I'm anticipating. I'm sure I'm anticipating something else, but I don't have a brain this week. You're not anticipating anything, though. You're
nothing. My life's so boring. Nothing at all. I am anticipating hopping on a plane tomorrow morning and I will be spending my flight into New York, finishing my beta read of Stardust in the Ashes. And then I will send off all my notes to Amber, and she'll be able to talk to her editor.
Yeah.
um, so I'm gonna do that. And then I also am really excited for the fact that I will have, like, I don't know, 10 hours of uninterrupted time to just edit the podcast. I'll get
Yeah.
it done in like one sitting.
That's awesome.
It's very exciting. If I don't do it on Friday, I'll do it on Monday. It's gonna be great. It's the stupidest thing to be excited about,
No,
but
it's
I'm really
not.
excited about it. I am going to one of my favorite humans in the world wedding on Saturday. I get to see Angie on Saturday.
I'm
I
so
was
jealous.
I was texting her. I was like, "You have to listen to Friday's episode of the podcast before you see
Yeah.
me." And she was like, "I'm scared." I was like, "No, you will be so happy.
Yeah.
I'm currently editing the podcast, and I just got to the part that you're gonna hear, and you're gonna be so excited about that it's making me really happy." And she was just like, "Okay, I'm excited."
Oh.
Yeah. So, hi Angie.
We love her. We love you.
So I get to see Angie on Saturday, and then on Sunday we are going to. She's taking me to a bookstore. I forget what it's called, but apparently it's a good one. And I was like, can we go to the drama bookstore? So we're gonna stop at the drama bookstore. We're gonna go to whatever bookstore that she was talking to me about. Um, and then we're going to go see Into the Woods. And then we're gonna meet Pippa Sue. Manifesting. You muted yourself.
Pippa, it's Mandy. I can't like bend my leg to lean into my mic. I've got him stretched out. It's a whole thing. Pippa, I'm gonna call you Pippa. Pippa, I need you to be at the stage door after Into the Woods because you're going to meet Karin. You're going to say, The Incoherent Fangirl, wow, I would love to be on The Incoherent Fangirl. Have your people call my people. We'll set it up. We're going to be besties. And that's the story of, not tomorrow night, the story of that one night that's coming up soon. And yeah. Anyways, love you. Bye.
I'm leaving in the part where you muted yourself, and I
That's
sat
fine.
here confused as hell. I was like,
That's
man.
fine.
I think I would die if we had Pippa Sue on the show. I think I would actually die.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't
also,
be able to go on.
yes, please. Yes,
Yeah.
please. I will tell you every single instance in which you made me cry because you are representation, and I didn't have that as a kid. Because she has been in a lot of
Plus the pipes
dude.
on this lady.
Dude.
Ma'am, I could make wallpaper cry, okay? I can make Windows commit suicide. And you get all that talent. It's just not fair.
It's she's amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So I'm really looking forward to my weekend. By the time y'all hear this episode, it will be like
You'll
over.
be back.
But
you'll be back.
So I'm anticipating my weekend. I also last night while I was I was just going through my emails. I had an email from Barnes and Noble, and I just scroll through it to see if there's any good sales because books. But because I am a Barnes and Noble member, they also sent an early link to sign up for a Barnes and Noble virtual event with Chloe Gong. So of course I immediately bought a ticket, and it comes with a signed copy of the Barnes and Noble exclusive edition of the book, which I have on pre-order. And so yeah, but I'm really excited about that. But today she posted her tour dates, and she's gonna be in San Francisco in early October on a day when I am teleworking. It's gonna be so I don't know. And so that one, they're going to have signed copies of the regular edition of the book, which I also have on pre-order. So here I am thinking, la-di-da, I've got my books pre-ordered. It's great. Now I'm going to have signed copies of these books.
You could have signed copies that potentially could be personalized depending on how her tour is set up.
I'm stoked. I'm so stoked. Finally. I was so bummed when Stephanie Garber announced her tour dates because her the closest one to me is in Roseville, which is like 2 hours away. And I was like, I just feel like I really want to meet her because she's so sweet. Plus, I have all of her books.
I need you to read them.
I will. They're on my list. It never ends. There's so many.
I feel like Holly Black. I think it's Holly Black that did that to me, where she's like everywhere that's not Georgia, and I'm like, I just need to tell you how much I love Karin Greenbrier. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Georgia.
So yeah. In addition, Foul Lady Fortune comes out next month. I'm excited for that. Emily from Novelty Chess just finished reading her arc, and she immediately messaged me. She's like, "We need to talk about this." I was like, "I know. I've been waiting since May. Did
she read it on NetGalley?
She did not read it on NetGalley.
Okay.
The publisher sent her a physical copy.
Okay. I'm like, it makes me so angry.
I know. Well, okay, so what happened was I was asking her because the US arcs came with like swag. It's really cool. There's like a slipcase for the book and there's like a journal and stuff. I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok, but it's very cute and I'm really jealous. So I was like, "Did you get any of the swag?" And she's like, "No, the publisher just sent me a physical copy and I got a copy to my Kindle from NetGalley." I was like, "NetGalley? Mandy said that she can't get it." And she's like, "No, sorry, wrong one, Edelweiss." And I was like, okay, Mandy doesn't need to go yell at anybody.
I was about to be so
No, I
mad.
know. I was going to be mad on your behalf.
Look, I was like Googling like back end generators to get like black market.
What is it that you need? Adobe something? Do I have it?
It was like, I downloaded it. It was like Adobe Page Reader or something like that. But then once you go to forward it to your Kindle, it's like, this file is locked. So they have it locked down.
Oh, okay.
To where it can only be on NetGalley, which is so weird because everybody else has the forward to Kindle and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Except for Foul Lady Fortune, which read on NetGalley.
But here's the thing. If Edelweiss is letting you forward to Kindle, then why isn't NetGalley?
Exactly.
I would email NetGalley. Just be like, hey.
I'll ask them. I will, because like I can't. Like, I'm on 3 computer screens all day on my phone, way more than I should be. I cannot read a whole novel on my phone. My neck would leave. My eyes would leave.
Like, it's a good size book,
substantial
too.
book.
Like, it's not. I love how I just reached over because all of my Chloe Gong is just right here. Like, you can't see it and our listeners can't see it, but literally all of my Chloe Gong is just right here within arm's reach at all times. But yeah, it's like substantial like book. It is. Yeah. Let's see. It is.
I can't live with that much blue light in my life.
Over 500 pages. Yeah, so I agree. I'm on your side. It needs.
Which, like, I want to eat it. Eat it. What? I want to read it. I'm so tired. I didn't sleep good last night. I want to read it, but
I had forgotten because it's been since May. But when I was talking to Emily, I remembered there's like a huge reveal at the end of the book, so I'm like, I need book 2 right now. Yeah. Oh my god, I want to reread it now. Now that everybody's getting it, I want to
release. I know, that's how I feel about Starlight in the Shadows. I'm like,
I know.
I read that in a day. I should probably go,
maybe
like,
if I have
time with
maybe
it now.
if I have nothing to do on like Monday flight back, maybe I'll reread it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Get it in your bag. Take it with you just in case, or make sure it's on your Kindle.
It's on my Kindle. I've got it. Yeah. But I can't think of anything else that I'm anticipating. Other than like the next episode of She-Hulk, because I'm already in love with the show. Like, girl, I cannot wait for you to watch it. It's gonna make it so good. That's it. That's all.
Okay. You're gonna have a little bit of a freestyle.
Fangirl freestyle.
So I have a ton of information about this, just book talk, but we were gonna talk about Alex Astor and Lightlark.
Yeah, Lightlark. So let's set the scene, shall we? Look at me being fancy. So Alex Astor is a 27-year-old author who has So from what I've seen, it's being marketed as like her debut, but she has other published works. I haven't looked into any of it, so I don't know for
I
sure.
wonder if it's like debut YA
Maybe
or debut like different
I'm not
genre.
sure, but so she has a book coming out. It's called Lightlark. I swear I've heard about this book for at least a year,
Yeah.
and I was shocked to find out that it has not been released yet.
Yeah.
This book has a six-figure movie deal prior to the release of the book itself. And there is now apparently speculation slash conspiracy theories that Alex Astor is like an industry plant, and this book is like some sort of experiment to figure out like marketing via social media or something or other, which is kind of weird considering we've got what is Melissa Blake's book,
A Broken
the
Blade.
A Broken Blade. Like she already did a
Yeah, she did
TikTok
the
thing,
social
so
media thing.
she did the social media thing. And
I think
what do you think indie authors do? Like, how do you think they
right.
market their books? So it's an interesting like I'm calling it a conspiracy theory
Yeah.
because we have no evidence that she's a plant.
No. But
But there.
what's confused there's something
Mhm,
confusing to me.
mhm,
She got a six-figure movie deal
mhm,
for a plot that from what the back of the book says is the
mhm,
Hunger Games and all of us villains put together. It's
mhm,
not a new concept.
mhm.
You mean to tell me that a film studio wants to make that happen when it's already been done?
It's fascinating. It's very fascinating. And there's a lot of according to the like recap videos that I've seen on TikTok, there's been a lot of really good discourse about privilege in the publishing industry
Mm-hmm.
because Alex comes from money. Like her parents own a successful car dealership. Her twin sister is like a multimillionaire or something. Like she comes from money. So
Right.
she has privilege. Um, I think I've seen some stuff that says she has connections in or
Mm-hmm.
like contacts or something in the publishing industry. So some people are feeling like she has been there's like this false narrative that she's a rags to riches kind of
Yeah, when
story when really she's riches to even more riches, I guess.
I think that it's also bringing like making people go after other authors. Like I
Mm-hmm.
saw, I don't know if it was on TikTok or Instagram where Victoria Aveyard was like being accused of being
I
privileged and growing up wealthy, and she's like, my parents were both school teachers.
I've
We
actually
weren't
seen
rich.
I've actually seen a lot of things where people are actually coming to the defense of Victoria Aveyard where she has
Yeah,
been very transparent with
yeah.
like yeah, like
She said, I'm rich
she
now. She said, I've
yeah,
made more money than I ever thought I would in my
yeah,
lifetime.
but
But
she's
no,
very
as a
like
child,
transparent through
yeah.
her whole story, and so people have been actually like praising her because she is very transparent with
Mm-hmm.
everything, which I haven't seen any of it because I'm not like firmly into book talk, so I only see
Yeah.
like snippets of things.
her
um
thing her thing was they were saying that she got like she had a contact in
mhm,
the publishing industry. From what she says, she had a professor in college. She went to like screenwriting school. She
mhm,
had a professor who she was like, some of these ideas that you're coming up with are really good. I know someone who I would like to introduce you to. And it
mhm.
did give her an in, but it wasn't like a my parents
Right.
are rich and smooch, we're
I
gonna
mean,
schmooze and
that's the thing about like the publishing industry though, and I think that's part of what the good conversation around this is that the publishing industry is very much about the connections you have
yeah,
and kind of using those connections, so it is very privileged.
right.
And
Absolutely.
so there's a lot of conversation, supposedly I haven't seen it, but I've seen recaps saying there's a lot of good conversation about the privilege in the publishing industry, and if that's the case then that's really good because we should be having these conversations,
Right.
especially in a time when we could potentially be having Penguin acquiring Simon and Schuster,
Right.
which would make it
Really upset.
really, really, yeah, it would
Yeah.
be crazy. The publishing industry would lose it. But yeah, so it's an interesting like situation. And then I've seen people saying like, I don't really like that she's marketing like her book so much, but that's kind of your
That's
job.
what you're supposed to do.
That's your job as an author. You're supposed to be marketing your book. You're supposed to be
Because if
selling
you're
it.
not going to market your book, why would anybody want to read it?
Right, right. So it's interesting to say the least. And it just like blew up like overnight. I feel like one day
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, okay, and then the next day all over my FIP it was like this whole like Alex Astor situation, and she's an industry plant, and I was just like, what is
So
happening?
I saw a video a few weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
where it was her, and I don't follow her. She just came up in my For You
Yeah.
page, but it was her saying like a video of her like, "Oh my gosh, my book isn't even out yet, and I've already signed a movie deal
Mm-hmm,
for it."
mm-hmm.
And it was like, I remember thinking, "Well, damn,
Yeah.
I wish I could do that."
Right.
But then like I didn't think anything of it, you
Well,
know.
and then
I'm
especially
sure
since
that happens occasionally
yeah.
where when you're shopping your book to different publishers, they know somebody in the film. Because
Yeah.
that's another thing Victoria Aveyard was talking about. She was like, the film industry watches the publishing industry because they want to snipe that book before
Mm-hmm.
it gets big,
Yeah.
and they want you to sit on it. So I think she's got some arrangement with maybe Warner Brothers, I'm not sure, where they bought rights to Red Queen
Mm-hmm.
for very little money before it was popular,
Mm-hmm.
because they're like, this is small enough that we'll bet with this money,
Yeah.
because then now they're paying her to not sell it to anybody else, where if they
Mm-hmm.
want to make it into movies or whatever, so like it's not a
Yeah.
foreign concept
Right.
that you get, a
A
movie
movie
deal before your
deal.
book comes out. But
The
it still
fact that
seems weird.
it's just a little, I don't know, it doesn't sit right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that there's anything suspicious or wrong with it. It just
No, no.
something doesn't feel 100%. I feel off. And it
Right.
could just be like a me thing, or like a little group of people who just don't
And
fit
people
right.
like conspiracy theories are meant
That's
to
true.
like pull you
Right.
into like
I don't know.
I
We love a good conspiracy
I
theory.
do. Like Paul McCartney is dead. The moon landing was fake. I love it.
Avril Lavigne has been replaced.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
is fascinating.
The Paul
Um,
McCartney one, that's the exact same
oh
thing.
my
He
god,
died in the 70s, and there was
it's
a
crazy.
look-alike. They did like a who looks like the Beatles contest, and the guy who won as Paul McCartney disappeared off the face of the earth
It's
after Paul
crazy.
McCartney was in a dune buggy accident.
Conspiracy theories are so fascinating.
I know, they're my favorite.
But yeah, the other thing that doesn't sit well with me in this entire situation is that people are review bombing it on Goodreads.
I don't like that. If you have not read a book,
Don't review it.
don't get to review it. That is
Don't
not
review it.
fair, because if these conspiracies are wrong and this girl has just written a book that she's proud of,
Mm-hmm.
you
And
could be wrecking her livelihood.
And I saw a really good video. Actually, Amber sent me a really good video today, where I cannot imagine what her mental health is right now,
Yeah.
like her mental state right now, because she is very active on social media. So she's seeing all of this discourse around
Yeah.
her and her book. Like, could you imagine you wrote, and we don't know the situation, but imagine you wrote a book that you're really proud of. It's already proving to be pretty successful. You've got a 6-figure movie deal. You're really proud of yourself. You're really proud of this book. And then to have all of this discourse about it and
Yeah.
saying all of these things where people are just attacking you and attacking your book. Could you imagine?
And
Like,
then
I would just.
people get so mad about it. Like, 6 figures in the grand scheme of film deals is a
Mm-hmm.
lot of money. It's not.
It's not.
That's not a lot of money at
No.
all to film
And
companies.
if you say 6 figures, that could be a very wide range.
I
Like,
mean, yeah, but still,
but $100,000 is 6 figures.
so is 999,000.
Right,
But
exactly. So
think about how much money they sink into every Avengers movie.
right. So it could be
Not a lot,
could
but
be very little, or
yeah.
it could, 6 figures does not necessarily mean it's like
she's
huge.
$1 off from $1 million.
Right. Like, it does not.
But even if she wrote this book and she's not some plant, hey
And
sister, more power
go
to you.
for
I
it,
hope
like-
you got $1 million.
listen, like, good for her if but the fact that people are going onto Goodreads and review bombing
Yeah,
it and
that's
giving it
gross.
1 star. Like, I think somebody said that she was at like a 4 point something, and now it's like 2 stars, like 2 point something stars. Like,
That's so awful.
you do not have honest, genuine reviews in the span of like 2 days before a book is released.
Right.
But I've also seen where people are saying that it's been out in the UK for like a week.
No, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Which is interesting.
That's
I don't know
weird,
about that.
if that's true.
But even if that is true, like, there's no way enough people, because there's like over 1,000 reviews now.
Yeah.
Like, I think the last count I saw was like 1,200, maybe 1,400. I can't remember. There's no way that many people have read it in a week, and that
And
many
reviewed
people and reviewed it 1 star. Like, I'm all for being honest about your opinion. Obviously, if you did not like a book and you rate it 1 star, great. If you loved it and you rate it 5 star, great. Don't do either of those things if you've not read the book.
No.
And I think that's one of the
gross.
things that is really, really frustrating me about the situation. Yeah. It's like, can we
I mean, we talked about, I think I've given a 1 star to 2 books in my lifetime, and one glorified sexual assault, which
not a thing that we should be doing.
Took characters and completely flipped their things they cared about. Like, I think I put it to you, Jamie Fraser doesn't care about Claire anymore. Rhysand decides that Farrah's not all that cool. And just like leaves. And then the girl gets raped and she's like, I guess I must be in love with him. I'm sorry, what?
That's not okay.
And then the Summer I Turned Pretty, the last book in the Summer I Turned Pretty, I hated it so much. I was so angry. I was so angry. But I read every word of that book before I left a review.
I don't have a problem with people not liking things. I have a problem with people jumping on a bandwagon, lying, and saying that they didn't like something that they didn't read or they didn't consume. Like, that is dishonest, and that could be somebody's livelihood. It could be somebody's life, honestly, because at this juncture, we don't know what her mental state is.
Nope.
It could be literally life and death. Like, she could be, who knows? Because I can't even imagine.
Speaking of those fake reviews, I went to Goodreads. I don't think I haven't left a star rating or anything. I was just marking that I was starting to read White Fragility. It has a 1 star from somebody with a Let's Go Brandon profile picture, and it's like, you didn't read this, you sack of.
You read the title.
You didn't read this book.
You read the title.
You read this title, and then you showed your white fragility. You exerted your white fragility by leaving a 1 star instead of learning.
It's ridiculous. This whole situation is fascinating. It's fascinating how these things spread so quickly.
She's gonna be in Atlanta with book talker Calvin. I think like next week, but it's on a work night. I think I need to look.
Poor thing.
Because now, like, I kind of want to go to support her, but then I'm like, if you are even if she's a plant, she's still a human being.
Here's my thing. Where is this energy for the actually problematic authors?
Yep.
Because 1,400 reviews, that's a shit ton of people to come together for this one thing. When we have actually problematic people that we should be
double down
not
on their
doing this
nonsense.
to, but like we should be having this outrage for people who are being racist, who are being transphobic, who are homophobic, anything like that. Like, we need to direct this energy where it needs to go. Okay, is she an industry plant? We don't know. If she is, I don't necessarily know if that's problematic.
How does it affect your life? How does that affect your life?
That's not something that is harmful to somebody's existence. Racism, homophobia, transphobia, anything like that, that is harmful to a person's existence. A person being an industry plant is not harmful to your existence.
No.
To anybody's existence.
And if your life is so impacted by a book you haven't read that you need to go leave a fake review about it, then you need to sort out your priorities, because
seriously,
yikes on bikes. Yikes on bikes.
Insert Ron gif here. She needs to sort out her.
Why do you think I worded it that way? Okay, I always have Ron Weasley in my mind. Okay, always. From the time I was 12 years old, I've had Ron in my mind and heart. Okay,
seriously though, it's fascinating, all of this. Let's make it clear we're not taking like a side. It's just an interesting discourse to talk about.
I'm trying to decide if I want to go to that
event.
Yeah, let me see when it is. See if I can't talk Josh into driving up there with me. It's a week. I was like, oh shit, is it today? It's next week.
It's next week. Is it a work day?
What's the 25th?
Thursday?
Is it? Oh, so I wouldn't be able to record with you.
I was like, Thursday. That was
But
the fastest math I've ever done in my life.
would that be a good story
It might
for the
be.
podcast?
It might
It says
be.
for an evening full of fantasy, snacks, photo ops, and
Ooh,
books.
snacks. Snacks and books.
I know, I'm like, holy spirit.
Maybe? I don't know. Do you want to go on a Thursday and then have to
I
work the
don't
next
know.
morning?
I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
you think about it. We have time before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I said it to you. I plan to read the book and form my own opinion. I will,
Yeah.
however, be reading The Hunger Games and All of Us Villains first.
Yes, please, because again, I haven't read Lightlark, so this is just me reading the back cover.
The
Sounds a
synopsis.
lot like if you made the Hunger Games and all of us villains get married.
Here's the thing. You set me. Okay, so obviously I have not read The Hunger Games, nobody come at me, and I have not read All of Us Villains. You sent me the copy of like the synopsis of Lightlark, and I was reading it and I was like, this sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Wait
And
a
I was
minute.
I even said it. I was like, you haven't read the Hunger Games, but you know the premise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I gave you like the Reader's
And
Digest of
you've talked
all of us
about All of
villains.
Us Villains. Yeah. So
Yeah.
oy
So it's like
it
I
is
don't know.
interesting. It is interesting. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? I the only thing that I have an opinion on is people attacking Alex specifically because
Yeah.
her mental health is important, just like everybody else's
Mhm.
mental health is important. We need to be conscious of that. Everything you say and do on the internet is being seen by this
Right.
woman, and she deserves to not be attacked
Yep.
like she hasn't proven herself to be problematic in any way, so she doesn't deserve to be attacked. And the other thing that I have an opinion on is the review bombing. I think that's absolutely
so
unacceptable
gross.
on either side. If you are rating it 5 stars without reading it, or you're rating it 1 stars without reading it, that's not okay. You have to read the book in order to rate it. But
Agreed.
in terms of whether or not she's an industry plant, this movie deal, whatever, I could not care less.
Yeah.
Because, like, that, it doesn't affect me. It does not affect me.
Nope.
In any way. So, there we go.
Book talk drama.
I feel like every week is new book talk drama.
Yeah.
It's
But
fascinating.
then sometimes it's like an author who's problematic that you're like, I'm just going to go block them.
You know who I want? You know who I want to have on the podcast?
Who?
I want to have Maddie Lim on the podcast because she does book talk news, and I need to know how she keeps up with all of it because there's so much stuff. And she's also adorable, and I kind of just love her in general. She pops up on my FYP all the time. Anyways, book talk. Oh boy, it's an interesting place to be.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Oof. Lord. Okay, before we spiel, I want to tell you one conspiracy theory that like wrecked my entire world.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Okay, so I did not it wasn't revealed at the time that he was problematic. I know now, I don't watch him anymore, but a few years ago I was watching Shane Dawson's conspiracy theories series on TikTok. I mean on YouTube, the Chuck E. Cheese pizza thing. Okay, and I'm going to tell you what it is. Apparently, when he was a kid, he ordered like his mom took him to Chuck E. Cheese and she ordered a pizza and they get it and he was like, I wasn't gonna eat it. He was like, because the pizza, the lines that were for slices weren't all the way across the pizza. It looked like somebody had puzzled a pizza together. And he said there was one random slice of Supreme and his mom was like, oh, they must have made that little piece for me. And he was like, no, I'm not doing this even as a child. So years later he goes to a Chuck E. Cheese with like his little like GoPros on their hats, or I don't know how they did it. And they eat some pizza. They put some on the table behind them, on a dirty table. They order another pizza and like they specifically arranged things on the slices that they were throwing away, and that slice came back out on a new pizza. The conspiracy is that Chuck E. Cheese takes what appears to be untouched, uneaten slices of pizza, puzzles them back together into a circle, puts a little cheese on it, rebakes it, and then sends it out to people to eat.
I can't
Do it. It makes me so sick.
Oh my gosh. It's really disgusting to think about that, but also, I don't think as a child we were ever allowed to order food from Chuck E. Cheese because my parents were like so cheap. And now I'm like,
grandparents
grateful.
would take us, and now I'm like, you hated me. Let me eat that used
I'm like
pizza.
Grateful for this now.
Yes.
And my daughter has only been one time, and it was at a friend's birthday party, and I don't believe that there was pizza, so I feel okay.
Ours closed, thank God.
Oh my God.
But yeah, anytime I think of
Oh.
conspiracy theories now, I'm like, the Chuck E. Cheese pizza is puzzles.
Oh no.
So if you're gonna take your children to Chuck E. Cheese, maybe don't.
Oh.
Well, it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh goodness. I was thinking that this was just gonna be like a you and me story, and now I'm considering we might have to leave this in.
No, leave it in. People need to know.
People need to know about this. I think I have to leave this in. It's just gonna be extra. Anyways, spiel time.
Spiel time.
Spiel time. This is.
I'm gonna go doctor my knee up again.
We
should redo my stuff.
We should have a fun little intro to the spiel music. We should figure that out. That'd be funny.
Ask Pippa to make a little sound for you that says the spiel in her voice.
God,
jazz hands and everything.
I would die.
I know, me too.
Not just the sound. That would be a video. That would be part of the. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
So when you meet her, just say, hey, can I get you to do me a solid for my podcast?
I need to tell you something. First of all, I love you. Second of all, I have a podcast, and would you just record, let's 10 seconds.
Spiel.
15 seconds. Just
this is the spiel. And she'll be like, let me get my friend Lin-Manuel.
Listen, I would just Angie would have to record it because I would be passed out on the ground.
Yeah. Prepare her ahead of time. Let her know.
Yeah, I will. Anyways, on to the spiel.
The spiel. We are not Pippa Sue. We are sorry about that.
Sorry, friends. But in spite of that, if you enjoyed this episode, please follow, and subscribe us. We promise we'll try not to sing again. Wherever you are listening, follow, and subscribe, and leave us a review, pretty please. You can tell us we're pretty.
Oh no, I did it. I sang.
Okay, and now we'll stop. Oh my goodness. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and TikTok at The Incoherent Fangirl, and Twitter at Incoherent Girls, because Twitter still sucks. They're the worst. They have character. Please like our Facebook page, and also visit our website, theincoherentfangirl.com, where you can also stream all of our episodes, as well as read our blog. We're really good at it right now.
Yes, we are on a roll.
We have so many blog posts that there's a button to load more now. I'm so excited about this. I'm so proud of us.
I know.
And you can also stream our episodes on YouTube if that's your jam. They are audio only. We will eventually be using YouTube for Patreon perks such as full video episodes and bonus content. And speaking of Patreon, if you have suggestions for that, send us an email, theincoherentfangirl@gmail.com. You can send us suggestions for Patreon, suggestions for our Fangirl Freestyle, because we totally spaced this week and made it up on the spot. Just anything you want to.
Or compliments. You can email us compliments. We love those.
Yes, we really do. We were bullied as children and need validation. Yeah. Not really, but I mean, I was actually bullied as a child, but I don't need validation is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but you can email us compliments.
That'd be fun. If you want to be our besties. And again, if you need an alibi for your shopping, you can also send us an email. We will.
Mandy and Karin sent me a gift.
We will back you up.
I have got
friend.
your back, friend. Don't you worry. We sent you gifts. Don't you worry about that spouse or that significant other or that annoying parent. I didn't pay for this. It was a gift.
It was a present. So
I'll lie for you.
Utilize that email, friends. We are here for you. Finger guns. Is that how it's done? All right. And she is at Mandy Perv on all of the things.
And she is Ms. Made in China on all the things.
I just realized we pointed to the side and the video is actually up and down. Not that anybody can see.
Mine's sideways. You pointed at me.
No, I know. When I edit it,
when you edit, it goes up and down. I hate that. That's silly.
Which is...
Well, you can set it to where I just thought your screen was top and bottom.
My screen is side to side. Sideways. I just edit it because...
Wait, let's do a high five.
Oh, that's pretty good.
We did it.
Okay, this is quality content that none of you guys can see.
I bet they can if it goes on TikTok.
That's true. That is true.
Hey,
and I'll keep us side to side.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways,
let's talk about our besties.
Oh, we love our
We
besties.
love our besties so
Head
much.
on over to herecomesthenerd.com. Use code FANGIRL to get 20% off your first order of really super duper cool pins and other stuff.
And speaking of other stuff, head over to onceuponabookclub.com and use code Mandy10 for 10% off. You can get a subscription to Once Upon a Book Club. You can get a individual box, random goodies, all the things. Get all the things.
Yeah, get all the things. And if you sign up before, I think it's like September 14th, you'll get their September box, which sounds pretty cool too. Yay. And if that is not enough books and things for you, you can get some books and tea from Novelty Chest.
Hey.
That's novel like a book and tea like the drink, chest.com. Use code FANGIRL5 and you'll get 5% off your monthly subscription. Yay!
And last but certainly not least, if you head to grimoiretea.com, use code FANGIRLT, FANGRLTEA. Lose that I. Get 10% off your order. All of these codes are listed in the episode description. So if any of those were confusing, no, they're not. They're written for you. All you have to do is copy and paste them.
Copy and paste. There's even a nice little link you can just click. It'll take you where you need to go.
Take you right over.
Just got to copy the coupon code. It's perfect. We set it all up for you to be really easy, okay? Because we
utilize our besties.
Visit our besties. Let them know we sent you because we love them. And we love hearing that people go to them because of us.
Yeah.
It makes me warm and fuzzy inside. It makes me happy.
Me too.
All right. That was a very incoherent episode.
That was the incoherent fangirl.
We love you. You're not supposed to sing.
Damn it. I can't.
That's why I said it the way
it.
I did. Okay, we promise we won't sing outside of the spiel.
Okay. Yeah, because
we can do
I
that.
wasn't a theater kid, but I grew up with musicals and musical theater. I can't just not sing songs sometimes.
I was a choir kid, so...
I was in chorus in middle school, but then not in high school and elementary school too. So there you go.
All right. Well, we promise we'll try not to sing outside of the spiel.
We love you.
That's the thing. We love you. Thank you for listening, even though we're insane.
It's on brand.
Yeah, it is. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
The 90s kid in me just...
Still the spiel. Okay, it's still during the spiel, even though the spiel is ended.
Bye.
Bye.
We are sponsored by our friends at Here Comes the Nerd. Pins, stickers, magnets, and more. Here Comes the Nerd has happy art for all fandom-loving hearts. New customers can use coupon code FANGIRL during checkout for 20% off their first order at herecomesthenerd.com. Coupon applies to ready-to-ship items only.